Hello, friends. Robert Bevan here, author of the Caverns Creatures series of comedy, fantasy novels, and short stories. With me is Sam West, and today is a Martial Monday. And we're heading down one more Barbarian path. Today is the path of wild magic.
The final path, right? This
No,
is
no,
it?
no, there's the Zealot, right?
Oh, right, Zealot. That exists.
All right, so I shouldn't have said one more. I should have said yet another.
Yet another of so many. I like conceptually this a lot. It has so many words, and I've read it like 3 times. I don't know exactly what to make of it. I've never seen it played, but it probably can do some cool stuff. So this is kind of like you're a barbarian who's not able to use spells, but you still want to do something that feels magic-y. So you get Path of Wild Magic, and then you're like, I sometimes do wild, wacky nonsense. Maybe.
Yeah.
It's what the kind of sells you on. And it mainly does that in the form of its wild surges, and then it kind of gets like some stuff that affects your wild surges as you go. I don't know how much it sticks to landing, but at the very least, it's pretty interesting. There's a lot to talk about here.
Yes, and we've covered many barbarian paths so far, and this one's looking pretty good to me by comparison.
Yeah. This one at least has the dignity of being interesting.
Yes.
So, the first
and not actively harming you.
Yes,
it's all the
not
time.
Causing you levels of exhaustion. So magic awareness is our third level feature we get first. So this is whenever you choose this path third level, as an action, you can open your awareness to the presence of concentrated magic until the end of your next turn. You know the location of any spell or magic item within 60 feet that isn't behind total cover. When you sense a spell, you learn what school of magic it belongs to, and you use this feature number of times to get your proficiency bonus, getting all back proficient long rest. This is Divine Sense for magic. Cool. Love it. I am always excited to see barbarians get anything to do out of combat. This is something to do out of combat, technically. Now, can every other full caster in this game cast tech magic? Don't worry about it. Wild Surge is what you get next. This is the third level feature. Also third level, the magical energy roiling inside you sometimes erupts from you. When you enter a rage, roll on the wild magic table to determine the magical effect produced. If the effect requires a saving throw, the DC is 8 plus your proficiency bonus plus your con mod.
All right, before you get into the effects, I just want to say, thematically, I love this. Just I can imagine it. I'm this barbarian. I've got this weird energy inside me. When I go into a rage, and I finally I like something that I kind of can explain it when why it happens when you go into a rage. You're just unleashing this weird wild energy within you, and that feels good.
Agreed. So, let's hope it stands on its own 2 legs, and all of them have some amount of interest. So you roll a d8.
Some of them. I'll take some of them.
All right, that's reasonable. So you roll a d8, and you get the given effect depending on what you roll, and it lasts for the duration of your rage. Right? When you enter the rage, roll the wild magic table to determine the magical effect produced. Great. Yeah, I think it lasts the duration of the rage. Or it just happens. We'll see. We'll read it. On a 1, each creature of your choice that you can see within 30 feet of you makes a con save or takes a d12 necrotic damage. You also get temporary hit points equal to a d12 plus your barbarian level.
All right, that's something.
I don't want to roll a 1 so far. Right?
Well, no, but it's still something. Like a lot of the other stuff you get to it's an ongoing effect. This is not, which makes it definitely on the low end, but it's something.
This is true. Number 2, this one is I think my favorite. You teleport up to 30 feet to an unoccupied space you can see. Until your rage ends, you can use this effect again on each of your turns as a bonus action.
That's pretty amazing.
It's sick. This is really cool. This is the kind of random effect that I want to see happening, because you blink somewhere and all of a sudden you're like, ho ho ho, aha! What do I do with this? The oftentimes is not much, but it's really cool.
You turn into the Swedish chef.
Exactly. 3, an intangible spirit, which looks like a flump or pixie, your choice. I don't think it should be your choice. I think you should roll a d4, evens odds it. It's wild magic. Anyway, it appears within 5 feet of one creature of choice that you can see within 30 feet of you. At the end of the current turn, the spirit explodes, and each creature within 5 feet of it makes a dex save or takes a d6 force damage. Until your rage ends, you can use this effect again, summoning another spirit on each of your turns as a bonus action. This is weird, but you basically make bombs. You just go, okay, d6, bomb over there.
Why does it have to be a flump or a pixie if all they do is explode?
I don't know. I don't know what the lore of pixies exploding is.
I don't think there is one, or I don't even know what a flump is.
Oh, they're little celestial jellyfish. I love them.
Okay.
If you haven't seen a flump before, everyone go Google a flump. You will put them in your next D&D game. I guarantee it. We'll touch on some issues that this has when we finish reading all of them. There's a ton of things here. So number 4, if magic infuses one of the weapon of your choice that you are holding until the rage ends, the damage changes to force against light and thrown with a normal range of 20 feet and a long range of 60 feet. If the weapon leaves your hands, it reappears in your hand at the end of the current turn. So this gives your great sword, thrown and light. Yeah, sure. If it's still heavy, you still can't use it if you're small, and if it's two-handed, you still can't dual wield it. So like, there are other issues with that. So like, there's not.
Wait. If it's still heavy, you can't use it if you're small. I mean, it's not heavy; it's light.
No, it's light and heavy. It gains light and thrown properties, so it's a light, heavy thrown weapon.
Now, I think if there is a spectrum of light to heavy, and it gains light, I think that negates heavy.
Yeah, you would think, but I don't think that's how it works.
Are you seriously? When this, I'm seeing the written here. Are you saying there's an official ruling on this that's stupid, like the invisibility thing?
Yeah, almost certainly.
Oh God.
I would bet. I haven't Googled it. I would bet good money if you are using a heavy weapon. This is going to be like a corner case that would matter to basically no one, because this is on a random table that requires you be a small barbarian that would then not be able to use heavy weapons. But I do believe if you have a heavy weapon, it is a heavy light weapon, because those properties are not mutually exclusive.
No.
No.
All right. What? This is never coming up.
This is never coming up.
If you're carrying around a heavy weapon, hoping for this effect, then yeah, you've lost already.
That's fair. I do really quickly want to go over what the properties do, just for my own sake. So a light weapon is small and easy to handle, made for use fighting with 2 weapons. 2-weapon fighting requires at least one of the weapons to be light, which means hypothetically, if you have a one-handed heavy weapon or a one-handed weapon that, you know, doesn't require other things, it's now light, so you can dual wield.
Yeah.
Maybe this comes up. It doesn't affect both your weapons, though. It just affects the one. So
yeah,
I think this one's pretty whatever. Number 5, whenever a creature hits you with an attack roll before your rage ends, it takes a d6 force damage as magic glasses out in Retribution, which is kind of cool. I like that this happens randomly as opposed to like the auras that we saw earlier in like Ancestral Guardian or the Storms Barbarian, where you get like the 2 damage around you or whatever. I think I slightly prefer this because I don't always get it, and it's kind of novel to be like, oh hey, I have thorns on me now. That's neat. I still don't think it's that exciting. Number 6, until your rage ends, you are surrounded by a multicolored protective light, so you get 1+1 AC. While within 10 feet of you, your allies gain the same bonus. So you give people +1 AC, yourself included. Yeah, okay. Number 7, flowers and vines temporarily grow around you. Until your rage ends, the ground around you is within 15 feet is difficult terrain. Sure.
Snore.
Sure. It's just for your enemies, so your allies can ignore that, but yeah. Okay. Number 8 is a bolt of light shoots from your chest. Another creature of your choice within range you can see within 30 feet of you. Another creature of your choice that you can see within 30 feet of you must succeed on a Constitution saving throw or take a d6 radiant damage and be blinded until the start of your next turn. And you can use until the rage ends. You can use the effect again on each turn as a bonus action. I love this. This is genuinely, I think, one of the best ones because you just look beam, and that's really funny to me. This is wild magic at its finest. I think is this in the teleportee one. That's all of them. And you may have noticed, I see viewers at home, that we have seen 0 options say they do more damage at higher levels, which is going to be a real bummer for a lot of these. There's going to be a lot of times in the game where you're just like, well, we're level 15. I rolled a 1, so I get to do 1d12 damage.
And only once. All right.
Yeah.
But I think that's the only one of these that can't be, or either doesn't have a duration or can't be used over and over again. Is that right?
Yeah, but like the pixie explodey one also doesn't scale. That'll always do a d6.
Yeah,
and doing a bonus 3 damage is pretty abysmal at level like 15 plus, right? Like I'm not that excited by that. I don't ever want to roll it, right? The bolt of light, the blind at least scales with but your enemy's attacks. So you do kind of you're still fine getting that in the mid to upper tier. So you just mainly care about the blinding condition, you don't really care at all about the damage. The reflection on hit also kind of scales with how many times you're being hit, because you know if someone's making 4 attacks against you, they take 46 damage, 1 for each hit.
Yeah.
That kind of scales. The AC bonus never scales. The in weapon range and properties, those don't scale at all. Those are just going to be fixed to being at their best at 3rd level. Well, that makes a lot of these kind of like, I don't know.
All right, the AC bonus kind of scales. because as you advance in levels, you hopefully advance in AC, and this is +1 to that.
But it doesn't give you more AC as the game progresses.
No.
It's always static.
But
your AC might go up, and this can contribute to
yes.
that. But
right, so it scales in that. Before you were going 7 to 8, now you're going 19 to 20. Whatever. Doesn't technically scale, but I think everybody's always going to appreciate a little bump to their AC.
Sure. I, as a barbarian, will be disappointed that I get that option, because only 2 of these I'm excited to get.
Well, I mean, then you shouldn't be disappointed, because 2 out of 8, isn't likely. This is a fine third option.
Sure. We do have more to talk about, though, before we're going to, write off this entire list, because this is all just the third level. We look at just the third level context. I am pretty happy with most of these. Bolstering magic is what you get at 6th level. So getting at 6th level, you can harness your wild magic to bolster yourself or a companion. As an action, you can touch one creature, which can be yourself, and confer one of the following benefits of your choice to that creature. We're going to ignore the masturbation joke. For 10 minutes, the creature can roll a
I'm not.
So for 10 minutes, the creature can roll a d3 whenever making an attack roll ability check and add the roll number to the d20 roll. I am so mad that they gave us a D3 here. Why isn't it a D4? People don't have a D3, Bob.
Yeah, that is they could have given you the D4. This is a barbarian after all.
Absolutely. And then it's just 10 minutes of bless. Okay. Alternatively, you could roll a d3. The creature regains 1 expended spell slot, the level of which equals the number rolled or lower, the creature's choice. Once the creature receives this benefit, they can't receive it again until after a long rest. You can take this action number times equal to your efficiency bonus and regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest. So, other characters that are all... I kind of hate this feature. Let me just start there. Other characters that are doing cool things out of combat, you know what you do? You give them more ways to do it. You go, hey... I'm a spell battery for that guy because he's got meaningful things to do and I don't.
But you can touch yourself.
Yeah, and get blessed.
Or it's
10
just,
minutes.
All right. The joke's finished.
That's fair. This doesn't feel as wild magic to me, right?
No, not at all. But I mean, all right, I could see this working with yourself if you multi-class in something.
Fun fact, while you're raging, you can't cast spells.
Thing. What?
Fun fact, while you're raging, you can't cast spells. Nor can you concentrate on them.
Is this a rage thing?
No, but if you're multi-classing to get spells, as a barbarian that has 6 levels in barbarian, you want to be attacking in combat, you want to be using your rage for your wild magic, and then all of the other things you multi-class for are offline.
Yeah.
Maybe 2 levels of warlock, and you can re-get those spells back.
Out of combat, you use this. It's regaining spell slots.
Yeah.
You don't do that while you're fighting.
Right, but you're basically saying all of my multi-class is going to be out of combat stuff, which isn't the end of the world, honestly, if we're talking about the barbarian, right? Maybe you do just go 3 warlock, 6 barbarian, or 3 sorcerer, 6 barbarian, and you get 3 extra 2nd level spell slots this way for out of combat navigation, right? Doing invisibility or, climbing on things. You can get wild magic surge that way. Maybe that's a route to explore. Then you're the super wild magic character. That could be cute. I think most of the time what it's going to look like is you just start giving your wizard and your bard their spell slots more often. So you can be like, don't worry, guys, you're not actually out because I'm here to help. And then you can kind of be a support for the casters. And you'll really, when you get to the 13th, 14th level, you're going to be like, wow, all I am is a spell battery for them, huh? Yep, okay. I'm an extra attacking spell battery, huzzah. I don't know. It gives me bad taste in my mouth. I don't like this feature. Interesting design space, at least. And I think objectively it's not that bad. But 10th level is unstable backlash. At 10th level, whenever you are imperiled during your rage, the magic within you can lash out. Immediately after you take damage or fail a saving throw while raging, you can use your reaction to roll on the wild magic table and immediately produce the effect rolled. This effect replaces your current wild magic effect.
So you can just roll to switch effects?
As when you take damage or fail a saving throw, yes.
I guess, I mean, you've got 8 effects, and, the odds are likely you've got one going that you don't like very much, so, I don't know.
Do you remember my complaint that we had earlier, where I said most of these don't scale?
Yeah.
That's a lot more of an issue if this is the only 10th level feature you're getting, is the ability to switch from an off an effect you had a consistency using to a different one that also isn't scaling. You're not getting any more powerful things. This doesn't improve the dice sizes of any of these. This isn't giving you a new powerful tool. It's saying, of these passive effects, you're going to get screwed less when you roll a 1, and you're going to sometimes switch it up and have a different bonus action turn to turn. Cool effect. I like that it exists. It's not a whole 10th level feature, though. This is like a neat way to sort of shake up and get more wild with your wild magic, but it's not meaningfully giving your character more powerful things to do at all.
Well, what about this? I mean, if you're taking a bunch of attacks,
you get 1 reaction a turn.
Shucks. All right. Never mind.
Yeah.
You cut me off.
So you
there.
can't like switch like crazy. That would be
Yeah,
really
yeah,
cool. I don't know. Like if you were to say you good to pick, would you switch to? I'd be a lot more interested.
Yeah.
But I bet it's a lot less wild, right? It's a lot less fun.
And that's also not what it is.
Yeah.
So
I don't like this feature at all.
I mean,
and then we got 14th level.
At least you get a choice. I mean, if you have the good feature you want, the good effect you want,
then you're like, oh, I don't have a 10th level feature. Huzzah.
That's true.
Yeah. I don't love this.
No.
I'm never like switching off teleport, are you? Like if I get one of the good ones, I'm not risking rolling the D12 one.
No, of course not.
Yeah. And then we got Controlled Surge with the 14th level feature, which is at 14th level, whenever you roll on the wild magic table, you can roll the dice twice, choose which of the 2 effects to unleash. If you roll the same number twice on both dice, you can ignore one number and choose any effect on the table. So 1/8 of the time now, you get your pick. You almost never get the worst one that you don't want, and you're more likely to hit one of the 4 or one of the 2 that I'm really happy with.
Oh,
that's kind of neat.
Whoa, what about why almost never? Why not just straight up never?
If you roll 2 ones, you get to pick. You're right.
Yes.
You straight up never never get it. So you get to remove the worst option from the table, and then you're likely to get the ones you care about a little bit more. None of them scale.
So wait a second. Maybe I don't. All right, no, never mind. No, I was wrong.
I really think these 2 features are fine expansions of the base feature. We talk about this a lot whenever we're talking about features that are like, oh, at 14th level, you get your thing improves from a D6 to a D12 or whatever, right? We talk about those features a lot. These, to me, feel like passive improvements to 3rd level feature that don't justify their existence outside of being improvements to the passive feature, right? There needed to be something else that this class got here to make it feel more powerful or impactful. I would have loved to see an upgraded Wild Magic Surge table. I would have loved to see a second table for Unstable Backlash. It's a unique list of random reactions that occur, right? The Wild Magic just slashes outward and does something wacky with your reaction every round. That'd be way cooler than switching it up to this effect, right?
Actually, I would like to see that at all stages.
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
You paid money for this book. They can go a little bit crazier with it.
It's wild magic. It's a barbarian.
You signed up for this.
All right. Not amazing. But let me clear something up though. The controlled surge, you can use that for the unstable backlash.
Correct. Anytime you would roll on the wild magic table, you could roll twice. This wildly improves unstable backlash to the point where you actually start considering using it pretty much every round. Because you know you're never going to get one you cannot live with, and you can sometimes get ones that'll get you out of danger in some interesting ways.
Yes, this doesn't feel worth hanging out for 14 levels in this subclass. However, if I was forced to play 14 levels through this subclass, I think I'd have a lot of fun using this.
I think the novelty of the DA table is going to wear thin 2 months in. I think
you might be right. There should be bigger tables as you level up.
Like 8 effects isn't a lot of effects. You're going to see all of these by the time you're 10th level, for sure. And you're going to have seen some really bad ones pretty frequently. You're going to see the ranged weapon attack one, and you're going to be like, this does stone nothing for me. You're going to see the difficult terrain one, and you're going to be like, I couldn't care less about this. You're going to see the area of effect damage at 11th level and be like, Yup. I hit 2 things for a bonus D12 damage, and now I'm just trying to wait for something to hit me to get off of this, right? Like, I think a lot of the novelty is going to wear thin. I think this is the kind of thing you play for 5 levels in a short campaign, and you have fun with it then because there's still a lot of novelty there, and these effects are a lot better in the lower tiers, right?
Yeah.
I think as you start to go down this option, I wanted to be nowhere near this.
It's been brought to my attention, or anyone's attention who's been reading the comments. We've been a little bit I forget words.
I don't know.
Inconsistent with our grading scale, and that's
You
bound to
don't
happen.
say.
Yes. So, now, I actually answered a commenter who said this, and yeah, when we started out with Ancestral Guardians, I wasn't aware of just how bad the rest of these barbarians are. So, when I grade things higher and lower than that, that's I'm getting fresh perspective every time. Here, this is one of the better barbarians I've seen, not one of the better subclasses in total I've seen. I'm gonna give it a C.
My perspective on how I rate things, I try and largely think about how will an average table handle this is where I'm trying to think about it. And that's, average don't exist. There isn't like a average human being. I'd try to lean towards casual tables. How will it perform at those casual tables? Will people have fun with it? Will people feel like they can just do their thing with it? That's where I try to put my ratings to matter. I try and take into account, how game breaking can this be? And that again tends to affect casual tables because you'll have one player that's doing ridiculous things, other players that aren't. This to me feels like it's going to be great in the first few levels for very casual tables. For people that are looking for wild magic to be something crazy, I think there's a pretty good overlap with people that like to play barbarians. This is wacky, this is funky, this is going to do some cool things at 3rd level. I think the deeper in you get to this, the more it's going to be like, I really don't like playing barbarian. This doesn't continue to satisfy my fantasy in any really meaningful or interesting way. These options haven't gotten better, but you get the blind slightly more, but you get the teleport slightly more. I think it's going to be, I think I agree. C seems fair for this. I don't think I would take it most of the time. I think you can probably play this in the early game and be fine enough with it. And the mid-game features, maybe you're fine enough just blasting off blinds every 4 rounds, but that's still not really where I want to be as a full subclass.
It's nice to hear that you come to this with a sense of perspective. I just go strictly gut feeling.
That's fair. I'd be lying to you if I was saying I was entirely objective every single time. My mood is the biggest indicator of whether I rate something. 100%. Don't let anyone on the internet tell you that they're good at objectively rating things. We are volatile creatures, humans.
We're all wild barbarians.
Exactly. We're all, in a way, we are all the path of wild magic. I think C is fair.
You got anything else to say?
Don't stick with this for a long time. If you're playing a short campaign, this is probably going to be a blast. If you're playing a long campaign, I think you'll get really bored of it.
All right. That was Wild Magic Barbarian. Thank you, Sam. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Let us know what you think down in the comments below. And like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Thank you for watching. If you found this helpful, informative, or entertaining, I'd really appreciate it if you hit the like button below. You needn't smash it. A gentle tap will suffice. If you want to see more videos like this, subscribe to the channel. And make sure you check out the links in the description, where you'll find my Caverns Creatures series of comedy fantasy novels, Sam's full review of the spell, and other fun things.